Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do a collective, the collective, for today. Today is Wednesday, December 24th, 2025. You may follow me on the tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, to make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. My friend's texting me about Christmas. God's kiss, we love that for you. Whatever doesn't, leave it on the table for someone else. We don't want you taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. We're going to use the Sarsaparilla Oracle Christmas Edition, Hattie Thorne. You can find this at hattiethorne.com or her Etsy shop. And it's a newer deck, so I'm assuming she would have it in stock. It's not discontinued or anything like that. My friend is making last minute goodies for her Christmas party with her family. I figured she would already be there, but I guess not. I think, so I want to say her husband doesn't have much family left, and her family gets together on Christmas Eve, like her mom, her sisters, all their families. And then on Christmas Day, it's just her and her 3 kids, their kids' respective others, right? And then her husband. 2 on the table. Ooh, 3 on the table. Oh, baby. Let's do 2 more shuffles. I've been eating a junk all morning. I'm not even kidding. I had some toffee. I ate my friend's caramels that she gave me because I could not resist. She made toffee and gave it to me. I ate her toffee last night. Last shuffle. I had 4 eggs. I had a protein shake. I feel like I ate crap. I feel like I ate crap. We got 5. And I can't walk or anything because my knee is killing me. Actually, I'm not so much in pain. It's just, it feels so stiff. Like, it feels like, when you look at it, it doesn't look any different than my right knee, but my left knee just feels like shit. And when I walk on it, I don't even really feel pain so much as I feel like nervy. So maybe like nerve damage. I don't know, but it's driving me nuts. And then between that and my cat Bubbles, like bitching at me for no reason, he's literally sitting next. I kid you not. I condense their water down to 1 bowl. It's on the floor. Usually I have a bowl on the counter for them because cats like to drink their water from high above. And I don't really cook usually anyway. And if I do, it's just me. So I wipe the counter, I make my food, and I let them go about their business. I don't care. When I make my protein bread to take to work, I make sure I clean everything really good. I make my bread, and then they can do whatever the hell they want. I don't care. I'm hardly ever in the kitchen. But I cleaned up the kitchen this morning. Their water bowl is on the floor. They have 2 bowls of dry food. One is for kidneys. It's supposed to be good for kidneys. And one is for dental for Harley. And she actually likes it. She's been eating it, which is good. I've already fed them twice today. It's Christmas Eve, so they get extra food, because they're my babies. They deserve the best. They deserve to eat good and hearty, right, at the holiday. Not that they don't every other day, but they had a can of, I can't remember the name of the company, but I bought it for them to try out. And it's like real tuna, real salmon, stuff like that. And then they put like sweet potato in there. And 2 out of the 3 flavors they actually like. The other one they don't like, which is the one I gave them. But it's still tuna. It's like real flake tuna. And I left his sitting in the bowl on the floor, and Bubbles is literally sitting right next to it, looking up at me like, where's my food? And I'm literally pointing at the bowl like, that's your food. He's driving me nuts. All right. We got 5 with bottom of the deck. We've got cake. We've got marshmallows. Thank you for listening to the rantings of a crazy old woman. We got ice skates. Punch bowl. I just realized as I was starting the video that I need to take off my crappy clothes and actually put on something that looks presentable for my dad and brother. Bottom of the deck, gingerbread house. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. Okay, why am I picturing like people pretending not to like somebody, not to admire somebody, not to be thinking about somebody, but they are. This would be like, and this is just an example, but like, let's say I go to work and I feel like 10 out of my 20 workmates don't like me. But in reality, behind the scenes, maybe only 2 of them really don't like me. And the other 8 like secretly think about me all the time, compare themselves to me, that kind of energy. It says you're not for everyone, but be delicious anyway. I feel like that's not, I feel like somebody thinks they're not for everyone, but everyone secretly likes them, thinks about them, admires them. And I'm not even necessarily getting like a jealous, envious kind of energy. I'm not really getting like a sex kind of energy. It's just like people actually respecting somebody even if they don't let on. Even if they pretend like they don't care, like there's something there. And I think with the marshmallows, it's because of how somebody behaves. It's because of how somebody handles themselves. Like, and again, just an example, but take how it resonates for you. Like if somebody is just comes off as really kind, really heartwarming, really caring, really generous, somebody that you're walking by each other in the hall at work and somebody drops a piece of mail and you don't even think twice. Like you pick it up, you're like, oh, here you go, you drop this. And somebody says thank you and you say, don't mention it, buddy. Like just like that. Because I'm going to say something. Let me say something about that, right? There's a reason why I use that as an example. Let me say something about that. So when I used to work for Fannie Mae Candies, I had a boss. She was like my boss's boss. Great lady. Little petite blonde thing. Real sweet, really nice, really smart. Okay. She lived in the city. She lived in Chicago. I think she was technically like a regional manager because the DM was my boss. The district manager was my boss. I think technically she was a regional. I think. And I remember her first name. I don't remember her last name, but I'm not going to use her name anyway. She she had this thing about interviews when she would give interviews. Okay. She would give interviews and she would ask, she would come up with her own list of questions. She would come up with she would have the HR questions that would be provided, but she would have her own. And she would also do this thing where, maybe she was sitting across from a person, or maybe when they first meet, they go to shake hands and introduce themselves. She would drop a pen. Or if she didn't have a pen, like a piece of paper or an envelope or something, like she would drop it. And it was a test. It was a test to see if that person, if that candidate for the job would pick it up, like without thought, like, let me pick it up. Even if they both reached for it and she got to it before that person, if they still reached for it, they passed the test. because that tells you that somebody doesn't think twice about going out of their way for another person. And it's not to bring anybody down and be like, "Oh, you're a doormat." No. You care. If you do that kind of thing, if you don't think twice, you care. People can call you a doormat all they want, but it's the nice thing to do. It's the good thing to do, right? You reach down, you pick it up. I'm going to be honest, I don't always do that. I don't always do that. And it's not per person, like, oh, I don't like that person, so I'm not going to do it. It's more like in my mind, like, am I in with range to pick it up? Am I okay to pick it up? Like, does my back hurt? Does my arm hurt? Does my hand hurt? That kind of thing. Because, I mean, let's face it, I am older. It's not whether or not I like the person or not, depending on whether I pick it up or not. It's just a million other little factors. But I don't always pick up stuff like that, Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But she used to do this as a test for employment. And she found that more often than not, when they did not pick up whatever it was she dropped, and she continued on with the interview, that they didn't answer questions fully. They didn't answer them, quote unquote, correctly, that kind of thing. Now, could that skew her judgment? Of course it could. Of course it could. But at the end of the day, we were in customer service. We were in retail. If somebody is applying for a management position and they're not willing to bend down and pick up a pen to give it to somebody else, why would you hire them for customer service? Whoever this is the type of person that would pick up the pen. And again, like every time, I mean, maybe not, but you know what I'm saying. Like, this is that type of person. This is somebody that likes to take chances. This is somebody, I mean, I don't really believe in chance, but like they like to take the path less traveled. They like to mix it up. They like to put themselves out there, pardon me, and experience all that life has to offer. And again, with the punch bowl, look at this. You are more influential than you think. You're not for everyone, but be delicious anyway. You are more influential than you think. See? It's there twice. And this one really calls it out. This one really says, like, hey, people like you, even if they don't say they like you, even if they pretend to ignore you, even if they pretend like you're not even there, like, people like you. And not that this is a good thing, but if you don't talk to certain people, or you quote unquote ignore them, not like intentionally, but just like, okay, they're not my friends, so I don't talk to them, like, you even hurt people, like, without even knowing it. Like, people are hurt by the inattention, by no attention. To me, that's a them problem. But it's interesting. It's interesting that somebody out there, if it resonates for you, somebody out there has people that thinks about them all the time and they don't even know it. And we watch other readers on YouTube, and readers say that kind of stuff all the time, and it's hard to believe it, right? The funny thing is like, me personally, with my intuitiveness, my psychic ability, I typically know when people like me but don't tell me, when people want to talk to me but don't. Like, I typically know. I can feel it. I can feel things flow off of other people, like in waves. Feelings. Like, I can always feel other people's feelings, their energy. Like if somebody's angry, I can just, like, it slaps me in the face. If somebody's happy, like I just can feel it wash all over me, you know? And especially at work, you know, there's so many people there. There's so many people that I don't know that typically I don't tap into, but then there are people there that are um putting up such a great vibe that like I can just tell like right away. When it's a good vibe, like I can tell like right away. And yesterday I was in the packing area all day, and I was across from the woman that I was friends with that is now friends with the guy that I was in love with. And I I could tell right away she was having issues. I could tell right away that she was upset that her and I had to pack across from each other. And here's my thing. Originally, when everything happened between me and her and him, I thought that she went to the bosses and said something because it seemed like, or maybe even he did, because it seemed like they were keeping us apart, and it almost felt like it was on purpose. But it wasn't until like a month and a half in that I realized they didn't say anything. Like things just kind of played out the way that they played out in regards to work. And the fact that I never really pick by him, I never really pack by him or her, I think that was just because that's how the bosses scheduled everything. It has nothing to do with either one of them going and saying, "Hey, I don't want to be by Kim. Hey, I don't want to pack by Kim. I don't want to pick by Kim. Kim's evil, blah 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 blah," you know? I don't think either one of them did that. And the funny thing was is yesterday her and I packed across from each other and he was on the other side. So all three of us were unpacking together yesterday. Now, she was down and picking for the first 2 hours. I was packing on the one side by myself for the first 2 hours. And then there were five or six people on the other side, and he was one of them. In the morning, when you come in to packing, you typically have to fill your station with boxes, brown tape, paper for your printer, rolls for your manifest printer. Like they're like rolls of like white, like big jumbo stickers that they put the manifest on, and we slap it on the box to ship it out. You got to have your gloves because you don't want to get the tape residue on your hands. You got to have bags just in case you need to bag something, bubble just in case you need to bubble something, even though they're supposed to do that in picking. So in the morning, you probably spend anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes filling your station, depending on how bare it is, okay? And Sunday or Monday night is second shift. And, you know, some of them fill, some of them don't. Now, us on first shift, we're told to fill our stations before we leave. So at the end of the day, when we leave at 3:30, we usually, some people stop at 3, fill their station, pack, and then go. Some people pack, fill their station like 3:15, 3:20, and then go. Just everybody's a little different. And yesterday I left a little bit early, so I kind of packed mine like I kind of started packing or filling my station like around 2:45 and did it till about 3:10, and then I packed and then I left. I left at 3:15. But I was filling my station in the morning. It probably took me about 22 minutes, I want to say. Maybe less if I remember correctly. And he was on the other side. And I mean, you had all the supplies are in the middle of the upstairs. Okay. And then I'm on this side by myself, and they're all on that side, 5 or 6 of them. I think there was 5 of them. So I had to go for my paper, my rolls, my bags, all that stuff. And every time I turned around to go, there he was. And he was getting some stuff, but then he was also putzing around by the desk, and he was talking to one of the other guys that he's not really a lead. He's not really one of our bosses, but he's like in training. So he was up there in the morning before our lead actually came in. So he's talking to him and blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing. I have no idea what his thoughts are because he never would talk to me after everything happened. Even after I wrote him the letter and I tried to open up lines of communication, he didn't want to talk to me. And I think I told you guys this the other day. I don't chase, and I'm sure as hell not going to chase somebody at work because I don't want to get in trouble for harassment. I already said what I had to say. I left it out in the open. If he were to ever want to come and say something, he could come and say something. I don't know what I would say at this point because it's been like what, 5 months, 6 months? I don't even know. So at this point, I don't know what my response would be, but he could always come and say something if he wanted to say something. The thing that ticked me off is that first 2 hours that I was up there, every time I turned around, he was in the center where the supplies and stuff are, where the manager's desk is, and he was always looking over in my section. You don't need to look in my section. And I wasn't in the first pack station, so you couldn't see me. I was tucked in behind. I was on what they call number 4. So I was kind of tucked in behind. There's no way for him to see me unless he came up along the actual supplies and stood there and kind of went like this, like, which I never saw him do. But then again, I was packing. And whenever I turned around to go get boxes or go get tape or something that I realized I needed, gloves, whatever, there he was. We were both wearing purple yesterday, which was, I have never seen him wear this purple sweatshirt, y'all. I wore my purple pants and my violet or my lavender Columbia vest, and then I wore my new black boots. I wore a black undershirt for work, like with the work logo on it, and then I had my pullover fleece jacket just in case I got cold. But yeah, he was wearing some purple, like, fleece half zip, quarter zip thing that I had never seen him wear before. And I was wearing purple. And it was very strange. It was very strange. And that was my first thought when I saw him, was like, why are we both wearing purple? I don't know. And then at the end of the day, on our last break, I went out to take my stuff to the car. I came back with my Red Bull. My 2 friends, who both have the same first name, one is really short, one is really tall, very sweet ladies, were sitting in the last 2 chairs with ottomans, and he was sitting 2 over from them. And I went and sat next to them. So there was literally 1 chair in between us. He was sitting there drinking a protein drink. I was drinking my Red Bull. And it's funny because the last time he sat next to me and I was talking to the girls, I was talking about protein drinks. And now all of a sudden he's drinking protein drinks. And I'm drinking a Red Bull. And the girls this time commented on the Red Bull. And I was like, oh, I alternate between Red Bull and Monster, blah, blah, blah. And then they were asking me what I was doing for Christmas for like the millionth time. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I telling this story over and over again? And why am I now all of a sudden having to tell them for the 3rd time what I'm doing on Christmas? And he's sitting right there. And I didn't want to say anything because I don't want him to know anything about my life. Like, if you want to talk to me, if you have something to say to me, then you should come and say it. I left the door open. Like, I literally left the door open. And you're sitting there listening to our conversation. And I just don't want him to know anything personal about me. And I don't want her, the friend, the ex-friend, to know anything personal. Or her friend that I still sometimes talk to, but not really. Anyway, yesterday was it was a great day, actually. It was a really great day, and I said goodbye to everybody when I was leaving. I did not say goodbye to her. I did not say goodbye to him. I said goodbye to everybody else, and I got the hell out of there. And it was a good day, except that, again, I could feel her anger. She's still very angry about what happened, I'm guessing. She was slamming totes around, slamming boxes around, and he was watching me in the morning and then listening in on my conversation later on in the day. And it was just a very strange energy yesterday. And the thing is I know that the two of them are interested and wondering like what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? And I wonder the same for them, like what they're up to, what their personal lives look like, whether they're together or not. I have no idea. But I don't think they are, but it doesn't matter. I wonder about their lives too, but I'm not going to ask them. Like, I left the door open for both of them. Neither one of them wanted to talk. End of story. I'm not going to get myself in trouble with HR for them, It's just not going to happen. But it's kind of funny because I resonate with this reading. Like, I know that they think about me. I don't have to think twice. I know that they think about me and they wonder what I'm doing. I know that when I talk to other people and I say the things that I say, that they're, and I know that she's very upset. I think part of it is being upset with herself because I think she feels like I think they both feel like they waited too long to say something and now they feel like they can't, which is not true. Again, I mean, I left the door open. And I even told her when I messaged her that one and only time to apologize. I even told her, I said, I realize you're not ready to talk. You're not ready to forgive me. I said, that's fine. I said, that's fine. I'm still going to love you and send you positive energy from afar. And I think now she realizes that I wasn't lying. And I think she's pissed off. I think she's pissed off at me for starting the situation, which I completely understand. But I think that she's pissed off at herself for waiting too long because she thinks she waited too long. And I think he's pissed off that he didn't say anything because he feels like now he can't say anything. I can't tell them what to do. I can't, And it's kind of funny because I told my other friend at work who I talked to about it at the beginning when everything first happened. She's like, well, why don't you say something? And I said, no, like, I'm going to let sleeping dogs lie. And whatever happens, happens. If we all become friends again, we become friends again. If we don't, we don't. I mean, they're friends, but I'm not friends with them. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, I can tell like that there's emotion there. I can tell that they think about me. I don't know. Take how that resonates for you. I don't know if that would be the same for you. Gingerbread house, bottom of the deck. Don't settle for sugar walls if you crave stone. You have to support yourself first. Don't build yourself a house of quicksand. Don't build yourself a platform of quicksand, right? You have to take care of yourself first, always, first and foremost. So anybody that's thinking about you but doesn't say anything, anybody that's putting off energy and you can feel it, you do what you need to do for yourself first. You can't worry about everybody else before you worry about yourself. How would you be able to keep going on and helping others and being there for others if you were constantly putting everyone before you? You need to put you before everyone. We've talked about that a million times. I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonates for somebody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were entertained. I know I rattled on too long. I just wanted to kind of give you like an idea of what I was talking about. And I figured I'd give you an update if you were interested in the gossip of my life. Obviously my side of the story, but I hope everybody has a great holiday and I'll talk to you later. Bye.